the Psychic News Network. How are you doing on this hump day? Well, let me bring you a little closer. What's new? For a while it was my habit to kind of have MSNBC on. It's not my habit anymore, but I used to watch like Ari Melber a little bit, see what the headlines were, and so I'm adjusting to not having that going on. And actually what's it's making me do more is it's making me kind of tune in with my own vibes, you know, picking up on the vibes. And what I have noticed today, since I'm doing that more, is that I felt like something really good. Hey, Kitty Holler. I felt like something really good happened today, but I'm not sure what it is that I'm picking up on. What it feels like to me is that, you know, there's a tipping point. It feels like we've tipped. It feels like we've gone to the point where, you know, we can't be lax. We definitely have to keep working hard. But I do feel like that we've reached a bit of a tipping point, and that Kamala and Walz are unstoppable. So now, the job that we have to do is to figure out, as a country, you know, our government has to figure out how to stop them from causing all kinds of a ruckus around the election. You're looking for a new home in Vermont? Good for you, Deb. Vermont's beautiful. One of our viewers, Kathy Doan, I think she's in Vermont now. She was going up to see the Perseid, the meteor showers, which it was overcast here, so I didn't go out to see them. Donate to Democrats. And please subscribe to Chop Wood, Carry Water, Jessica Craven. Today she sent out a newsletter. If you want it, we can provide it to you. Grassroots of Democracy is on top of it. And Jessica Craven included a list, a few attachments of different organizations to donate to. So I think since I'm thinking about, we have to make sure that the shenanigans that the Magas have planned, the Heritage Foundation has planned, we have to make sure that they're not going to be able to cause a whole bunch of disturbances around Election Day. If you caught my 10-minute tune-in yesterday, I did talk about how disturbed I was at how Trump sounded. It's just, the whole thing is disturbing, but, you know, with Elon Musk, and I was just really pretty freaked out by how it seemed like someone dropped him on his head and he was slurring, and he did sound a lot like Daffy Duck. So, I kind of boiled it down to, I think he had an episode, I think it felt like he was on some kind of drugs, because Ronnie Jackson kept popping into my head too. And also, I'm wondering if he had a mini stroke. We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's pick a Fae card. Let's pick a couple of different cards. Do something different. It's middle of the week. It's, you know, middle of the month. It's just, I don't know if you guys are feeling like, you know, there's the winter blahs. It's kind of a little bit of the summer blahs. So let's mix it up a little. Next week, on the 23rd, I'm going to DC. Thank you to all of you who donated to my trip. Helps a lot. Let's pick a Forest Fae card to give us a little bit of a vibe. All right. Faux News is having a heck of a time trying to figure out how to attack Kamala and Tim. And it's so sad that it's come down to that. It's so sad that Our politics has come down to how dirty can you be? How much dirt can you dig up? It's really disgusting. We don't want any of that. No stroke. Elon gave him some of the good stuff. Well, they weren't in person. We'll get to that. Let's pick a fake card. My first impression of why Trump was slurring like that was that he was on something. Yeah, her laugh. They're complaining about Kamala's laugh. They can't find anything. All right, a fake card to guide us. The Northwood Fae. It's funny, I was just talking about, the middle of summer like this, towards the end of the summer can feel like the summer doldrums, like we have the winter doldrums. So then I picked this card. The Northwood Fae. Take time for hibernation and healing. So it is kind of that time in the season where we're just like, usually the end of August is like vacation time. Well, some people go back to school, or take their kids back to school. But it's also like just kind of kicking back and just kind of like, don't expect too much of yourself. You can kind of get the wheels revved up once September hits, right? So take time for rest and hibernation. So if you have a vacation plan, this is a really good time. It's good energy for that. Now on Monday I said I felt a lot of activity that's going to happen this week. We had a show yesterday, Kathy Beal. Somebody in Texas is saying her grandson has already gone back to school. I think that's awful. When I lived in Tennessee, I was really astounded that kids went back to school in August, because here it was always after Labor Day. And it's so hot there. And some of those schools, a lot of those schools don't have very good air conditioning, if they have it at all. You smell school again. I think Kitty Holler, well, the name says it all, right? Drives a school bus. By the way, I forgot to say to you all that we'd like to see your selfie shot, so send your selfie shot to Annette Dion Psychic at gmail.com. Okay. A moon card. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. That might refer to the loser. Don't let pride get in your way. Whatever that means to you. Good Lord, school started in your community today. It's only August 14th. Yeah, we never started school until after Labor Day. You want to rename the loser Voldemort? Nah, it's too long. Let's see if he was on something. Seems like I read on this already, but it might have been the 10-minute thing. Was Donald Trump under the influence? You have a sun and moon in Leo, Rose? Wow, that's a lot of energy. No, Voldemort belongs to Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is like a vampire. It's so depressing. People have been putting up the school started already in all these different places. It's terrible. School starts after Labor Day in Western New York. I know, you would think that school would start later for the states that have high temperatures. It's crazy. Doesn't make any sense. Was Donald Trump under the influence of some kind of a drug on? Yeah, that's a strong yes. That's a strong yes. Trump was definitely on something. You watch said benzo can make you sour your words. Strong. Was he on a downer? Yeah, he was on some kind of a relaxant. Very strong yes on those. Now, I wondered if he had a mini stroke. Did he have a mini stroke? Well, I don't know if that was that night. I do feel that he's been having mini strokes. Of course, he was on drugs. When this is a really strong yes. That he has had a mini stroke. Front lobe dementia. Cheryl's saying, is it frontal lobe dementia? He's got it all. He has everything. I mean, that's what the pendulum is indicating, that he's a mess. We won't find out. Yeah, we won't find out for sure. So that's why, because they don't tell us the truth, we have to go to the psychics. Trump looks so old. Is Trump having a nervous breakdown? Yep. He has a hole in his palate from cocaine use. Where's a that's a hard word to say. Prosthetic plate. Is that true? Does he have a hole in his palate from cocaine use? I'm not getting a yes on that. Remember, like in the 70s rock bands, they were doing so many drugs. I don't know. I remember Steven Tyler saying, that's just what we thought you were supposed to do. Trump sounded okay today, and he sounded like you sounded when you had teeth work done and had Novocaine. Today? He snorted Adderall. Anyway, so the general consensus here from the pendulum is that he was under the influence of something. And it seems like a benzo kind of a thing. So we don't want anybody in any position of leadership who's on drugs. And that's just the least of his problems. Betty did all kinds of drugs. Thank you for sharing. I've just pulled out the Witch's Tarot, so let's pull 3 cards on Kamala and Tim. Maybe he lost his dentures. It sounded like he lost his dentures. Now, since I'm not watching mainstream media, I don't know how much it's being talked about. But I think it's definitely an important topic for discussion. It's crazy. The MRI, they found a hamster on a wheel eating Swiss cheese. Yeah, Adolf Hitler was also into drugs big time. Yes. Darren, thank you for your gift. I appreciate it very much. Kamala and Tim. What's it looking like for Kamala and Tim? No, I'm not watching mainstream media, so I'm wondering if they were talking about the deranged drugged Trump. Yes. Darren, you give me hope. How Kamala and Tim Walz are doing. Well, this as they shine in the sunlight, they're looking at the emperor has no clothes and is quite distraught. So this is Tim and Kamala, and this is the contest. The loser is losing. He still thinks he's the emperor. Sun is the best sanitizer. Yes, that's part of it too. But I'm asking about Tim and Kamala, and I get lots of bright sunlight. Lots of bright sunlight. Yeah, Cheryl, they're perfect, right? The emperor. I just want you to know that Trump has never stopped thinking. I don't know if it's believing, but he's never stopped thinking of himself as still president. Look at all the Mar-a-Lago press conferences he has. He's got the flags behind him. I think they even had the presidential seal on the podium. I'm pretty sure he's had that long after he lost the election. And I don't think he really believes it, but just like he studied The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale under his tutelage and Fred Trump was really good friends with Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote that book. It can be used for good or bad, right? I think that Trump actually does this. I think that he thinks himself to still be the president, and so that's how he operates. Inside Edition came into my feed and they said it was the phone program they used. That's what I call a load of, that is infuriating. They think we're so stupid. What's Inside Edition? Is that like ABC or something? Wow. They think we're so stupid. Anyway, Harris and Walz against the guy who thinks he's still president, losing a lot. You know, Trump always says, a lot. He always goes, we're winning by a lot. Cannot stand him. And I know that we all share that sentiment. We cannot stand him. He's so deranged. All the words that he uses to insult people that aren't loyal to him. Trump is a toad. I like when Sean Fain says, Trump is a scab. I mean, he deserves it. People get upset about the name calling, but I'm sorry. He has hurt so many people. And you can go even so far as to say people have died because of him. Selling our national security secrets, people have died. Not handling COVID, pretending it didn't exist, people died. So I don't feel like guilty at all. Where are my nefarious people cards? Hang on, I gotta get them. They were trying to hide. That ain't happening. Okay. We're going to read on the Heritage Foundation and what their plans are for the election. Tim Walz said this guy is going to wake up every day knowing his ass got kicked by a black woman. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Walz tells it like it is. He does not mince words. That's my kind of person. And he will offend, but he's not going to do it like in a mean way. Tim Walz is going to he's just going to tell it like it is. Hey, Yogi Bear. So, thank you, Zircon. Speaking of things feeling like the doldrums, boy, business has been very dead. Make me happy. Book a reading. Make yourself happy. Book a reading. The Heritage Foundation. Reportedly, there's a section of Project 2025, and really, we have to spread the word. There's a section in Project 2025 that the Heritage Foundation is refusing to reveal. Maybe we should read on that. And some of the Democrats have gotten together and they're launching an investigation into what it is the Heritage Foundation is, what they're hiding in Project 2025. And I'm glad that the Democrats are on it. We haven't heard a lot about it. I feel like we're not hearing a lot because Congress isn't in session right now, so we're not hearing a lot of news about what's going on with the Magas and Congress. They're all in on it. So I'm pulling 3 cards about what the Heritage Foundation is hiding. Asheville, North Carolina made him pay before he had his little hate circus. I like that, hate circus. It's what it is. You saw a really cool hat. Kamala. I had a comma and la after. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay. I say Kamala. But I guess if you're from the Midwest, Kamala, right? Not Kamala. Kamala is more of like a Northeast kind of an accent. I don't know. Who knows? Just call her by the right pronunciation that she uses. The Heritage Foundation. Yeah, the High Priestess. They have a secret. If anybody asks you, if you talk to anybody about what's going on with this election and Project 2025, and you want to put it in a nutshell of what Project 2025 is, you could say it like this. Or we could call her Madam President. I like that. I might. You could say it like this. Project 2025 equals inflicting suffering. Project 2025, you know what it is? It's a plan to inflict suffering. Does anyone want to dispute that? Because that's exactly what it is. So all those Trumpsters that are out there, and by the way, I really sense that the Trumpsters that are showing up at those rallies are being bussed in. Let's ask that. The Trumpsters being bussed into the rallies. I have a yes on that. Yeah, it's cruelty for cruelty's sake. And so it's 950 pages or something like that, this Project 2025. So you kind of need an in a nutshell version. And crazy isn't a strong enough word. It's a project in a nutshell to inflict suffering. Right? That just describes what it is. And the Heritage Foundation is determined to not, I think it's like section 4 or something. There's some kind of a section that they're not divulging. And I have a sense that it has to do with violence. But they're hiding it. And it's going to get very challenging for them to hide it. And what's popping into my mind is when Leonard Leo was subpoenaed and he refused to show up. We might want to look at that. Because he was able to push it off. So that tells me Leonard Leo is involved. He's part of the team of Project 2025. They already implied violence. Yeah, but I'm talking about in Project 2025 what they're hiding. Because they're not revealing this particular section to the public. And when I tune in and I ask what it is, it's a plan for violence. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to work. I am saying that it's going to get challenging for them to just not disclose this. And it could be, in a way, it could be disqualifying in some way to somebody. And Betty's saying as long as we have Paxton in the AG office, we'll lose Democratic votes. Yeah, we can read on that too. I think somebody asked me to the other night. Yeah. The Nine of Pentacles indicates that the money is going to be an issue. So there's something, I'm picking up something around Leonard Leo and the Heritage Foundation. And, the plot thickens. When it gets complicated like this, we have to go dive in a little bit more. Will Abbott and crew feel the backlash from voters due to Project 25? When you said crew, it threw me because crew is the name of an organization that was that's working for the good. Will Abbott feel the backlash from voters due to a Project 2025 group trying to take... I'm not getting he's going to succeed. I'm getting yes, but he won't succeed. Group hug? Is it? Oh, we're past 200. Please hit the thumbs up and then we'll do a group hug. Anyone who hasn't yet. There's corrupt people, yeah. Cards are all facing up. They're usually facing down. I'm going to pull 3 cards on Leonard Leo and what's going on. The GOP asked Trump to stop the name-calling against Kamala and focus on the policies. You think he's going to listen? I totally get 100%. Trump is not listening to any advice. What he is listening to is compliments and fabricated good stories about him. You can't hit the thumbs up, you already did? Yeah, let's get the more thumbs up and then we'll do a group hug. Think of a topic for the group hug. That was a really sweet group hug on Monday. We were mourning the loss of some people, so it was very good to hug for the people that were grieving loss. Leonard Leo. Well, working away. Okay, what the Heritage Foundation is doing. I think I could describe it like this. What's the word titration mean? I think I could describe it like this. If somebody, this is just sort of a metaphor. If there was a drip, drip, drip in an IV, you know how IVs drip, 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 and like if they add medication that's drip, 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 right? That's the kind of a feeling I get around Leonard Leo and what they're doing with the Heritage Project, the Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. So there's a drip, drip, drip kind of an energy around what they're doing so as to be undetected. Yeah, the Democrats should have him arrested. Yeah. Oh, Amy just got home from work. Glad you could make it. He's dripping all right. I mean, that's kind of the sense that I get is the way that the Heritage Foundation is working this right now so as to be undetected. It's a drip, drip, drip. So it's illegal to tamper with voter registrations. Yes, that's true. But they don't have any regard for the law. Have you noticed? Is this news to anybody? No regard for the law whatsoever. Slow and deliberate. Yes. Very good. End the zone. Yeah. Totally. I couldn't have said it better myself. Slow and deliberate. That's what they're doing now. They're attempting to remain undetected, but I don't see how they can. See the Five of Cups? She's fallen off the wall there. Yeah. The Eight of Pentacles is it's like the evil villains in the movies, you know, where they're behind the scenes and they go like that. It's really it's like a horror movie. It's awful. Temperance is indicating to me that it is a drip, drip, drip. They're what they're doing right now, the Heritage Foundation with Project 2025, is they're sneaking it in. And they're taking their time. And there's a build-up energy that builds up to Election Day. Will Leonard Leo and the Heritage Foundation be stopped? I get a yes on that. Take away their nonprofit status. Absolutely. I get a strong yes on that. They'll be stopped. Tulsi Gabbard is on the TSA terrorist list. Doesn't Iran have a lot of people on their kill list? By the way, slowest moving coup ever. Let's see. It's a slow moving coup. Milu said what? Gloria saying Milu said that too. It is a slow moving coup. Is Leonard Leo part of the Heritage Foundation? That's what I'm gathering. Hang on. Are they already doing they're not already doing it. It's a drip, drip, drip. The coup part they haven't gotten to yet. But I am getting that they'll be stopped. I am getting that they'll be stopped. Yeah. Oh, are you saying that Milu said they'd be stopped? Okay, well, we're checking out on that. Leonard Leo is a Federalist Society. He's definitely involved with this in some way. And the reason that I'm saying that, Warren, is because I said Heritage Foundation and Leonard Leo, his name just blasted into my head. That's why we go for the psychic readings. Right? Okay, 5 more people hit the thumbs up and then we'll do a group hug. We're at 134 from my view. We're standing back and standing by, right? I'm going to read a little bit more on that. Okay. And I'm getting the month of October is the month that it's all going to be revealed. So, you know, I cannot stand the phrase October surprise, but because it's kind of silly. But if there's going to be anything like that, it feels like it's going to come out. Yeah, we'll do a group hug right after I pull these 3 cards. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Yes. But first, hang on. Is there going to be something close? Kevin Roberts is an evil, evil demon. I don't know how these people got so hateful. Okay, 3 cards. On as it gets closer to the election, I feel like there's going to be a bombshell. Justice will come. If there's any such thing as an October surprise, which I'm not a big advocate for believing in that stuff, but I understand that's happened throughout political history. Justice. Yeah. I'm horrified when I think about what pregnant women are going through right now. I don't know if Kevin Roberts is related to Oral Roberts. Roberts is a very common name. But right now, we can think of a couple Roberts that are very bad people. Paxton is still under investigation. We'll read on that. Oh, Hal Sparks is going to show the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, they have training videos. It's a bona fide cult. It's a bona fide cult. So I get that as it gets closer to the election, justice is coming for them. Yeah, the Knight of Swords. That's a prosecutor. Don't think for 1 second. What are you giving up on, Yogi Bear? Did I miss you? It's hard to follow the chat. It really is. Yeah. Just they're not going to get away with this because I feel like the DOJ is on it, and I really do feel strongly the DOJ is doing so much behind the scenes. You know who else is doing so much behind the scenes is Joe Biden right now. So this is part of it. The 9 of Pentacles. The money is they're going to be following the money. Follow the money. Following the money. I mean, I asked about if they're going to get caught, and I got the Justice card. So what do you think of that? What do you think of them apples? Group hug. Peace in Gaza. So we're going to do a group hug about peace for Ukraine, peace in the Middle East, and all the horrible people, all the horrible dictators to have what's coming to them. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're bringing up the energy. I can feel it. We are lifting up the energy. And Senator Whitehouse is on the money trail. Yes. And whenever you think about it, send positive light and vibrational energy to the people that are working really hard to save democracy. Send lots of light to Kamala and Tim and Joe Biden and everybody. Okay? And if you are on the Grassroots of Democracy list, you have received the meditation. If you're on the Grassroots of Democracy email list at all, and look for it, because every single Wednesday or Tuesday night you are receiving a guided meditation for a healed America. If you haven't attended or if you miss it in person, powerful stuff. Okay, want to read on? Let's switch to the good cards, the not nefarious people cards. Let's read on Sheldon Whitehouse. Yes, that was a great hug. Warren's given a testimonial. The guided meditation is incredible. It really is powerful. And besides that, if you don't know how to meditate, you kind of learn. It's a guided meditation, but you kind of learn. All right. Sheldon Whitehouse. In regards to the Supreme Court and all the Federalist Society. I feel like the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation they're holding hands. That's what I feel. They're holding hands. They're buds. Okay. Sheldon Whitehouse, and, as far as the progress that he's made. Yeah, he is following the money. Madam President is a really kick-ass prosecutor. This is grace. This is like divine grace. And I don't think she hasn't talked at length to Sheldon Whitehouse. I think she has, prior to being a candidate for the presidency. And the Six of Cups. Oh yeah, the evidence is flowing. The evidence is overflowing. And the Democrats and the people that are working so hard in our government to save our democracy are making huge strides. We can't mess around. Project 2025 is a plan to install suffering. It is a plan to implement suffering. Tell the Magas. I mean, it can't hurt. And know for sure that the Magas have no idea that Project 2025 will cause them and all their loved ones to suffer. It's not going to happen, but that's because we're not going to let it happen. Okay, I'm going to just pull 3 cards on Kamala. We will have to cover our heads. What do you mean? It's going to be flying. Stuff is going to be flying. Okay, I'm pulling 3 cards on Kamala. Kathy Beale yesterday during Spirit Talk podcast was just saying when she wins, when Kamala wins, when she's in the White House, when. The Magas will run the FDA. Oh, everything there. I won't even read Project 2025 because it's so horrifying. It's so unbelievable that they even came up with this. It's just like, wow. I've never encountered that level of evil. Madam President. Well, here you go. I think that's a yes. I'm asking how Kamala's doing. And I have the Empress, which also represents the United States, that and the Star card. Let me just hold it up so you can take that in. And then here we have, I'm asking about Kamala Harris. Here we have Tim Walz, King of Cups. The Empress and the King of Cups. And here we have America overflowing with joy that's contagious. Let's really acknowledge that we have been waiting a long time for this. We love Joe Biden. We just needed somebody like a Kamala, like a woman. Let's pull 3 cards. A friend said she's voting for Walz because he's huggable. He's very huggable. He's an awesome candidate. Those are great cards, aren't they? Yeah, perfect cards. That was very clear. Yeah, so we have good we have good reason to be excited, and I think that it's easier. I think it's easier to get excited when the end goal is like a common feeling that we all have. I think that we're in for some really amazing energies emotionally. We need a dad joke. Thomas must be busy. He was on vacation last week. He might still be on vacation. But he did pop in on Monday. There was a youngster with an untied shoelace, so Tim bent down and tied it for him. So very human, just what we need. One time I saw a picture, and the story behind the picture, it was a police officer and a little black child, and the police officer was tying the child's shoe, and the story said the little boy went up to the police officer and said, "My mother said that if I ever needed any help to ask a policeman." And so he said, "Will you tie my shoe?" I don't remember where I saw that, but it was very cute. And that's what we need. We are so ready for kindness. Maga election worker is refusing count. That's what they plan to do. Yes, focus on what we want, not on what we don't want. Don't focus on 45. Well, we can focus on him if we want. If we can just focus on him. I like to bind him with like mummy gauze, white light that looks like gauze. Bind him so he can't do any more harm. There's nothing wrong with that. They won't get away with their bad plans. All right, if anyone has a dad joke, you can consider yourself a fill-in for Thomas tonight, because apparently he's busy and he's taking a break. He'll probably watch it afterwards and laugh. We should make the Maga work our fields. Yes, Mark Elias is all over the games that they're playing. Yes. Okay, let's pull 3 cards about Mark Elias. We won't spend the entire show on with the nefarious cards. We're looking at some more positive cards tonight. Monday night it was just nefarious people all over the place. Okay, so 3 cards about Mark Elias. Now, if you aren't familiar, I hope you are, because I'm assuming that you're all following democracy and what people are doing. Mark Elias and how he's doing. He's winning a lot of the cases. I can't believe that we have to fight for our right to vote. It's unbelievable. Mark Elias for AG. That would be good. I think he's enjoying what he's doing. Don't do dumb stuff. I like that kitty holler. How Mark Elias is doing. It's a lot of work. But Mark Elias, it's a lot of work. He's been working very hard. Say it loud and proud. We're not going back. Hell no, we're not. Thank you, Zircon. Mark Elias, he's working really hard, but he's winning a lot of these voting rights cases. Death to the fools. The end of the fools. Not actual death, you know what I mean. The death card doesn't mean actual death. But he's shutting them down. Donate to Democracy Docket. If you can donate monthly to Democracy Docket, that's money well donated. Because he's really working hard. All right. And he's been non-stop. Mark Elias has been non-stop. And that's what these times have required. We have to be non-stop. I'm going to pull 3 cards about what this week is going to bring, because I've been feeling like this week is going to bring a lot. I think it's comforting and reassuring to see these people taking on these roles, like even watching the show, doing the show yesterday and watching it afterwards with Kathy and remembering the things that she said. When you look at somebody's astrology chart and it just looks like, oh, that soul has a blueprint it shows their journey, and they were made for these times. I mean, Joe Biden, think about Joe Biden. If it weren't for Joe Biden stepping up, we right now could be a dictatorship. You know, so it's reassuring, right? Yeah, what's this week gonna be like? I'm feeling big stuff brewing. Big stuff brewing. So doesn't it help you? It's reassuring when you realize, wow, like Mark Elias, he just stepped into the role. How about Midas Touch? They just stepped into the role. Right? Yeah. What's this week gonna bring? We're heading for a full moon in Aquarius on Monday. That'll be a good show. It's always a good show because you guys are here. I see Joe doing something amazing soon. Kitty Holler saying, I do too. I do too. I feel like Joe Biden is working behind the scenes. I keep picking up on something to do with the Supreme Court. Hey, Liz. And so this week, the Five of Pentacles is poverty for Maga. And more people, now this might sound strange to you, and it's about time, but I actually see mainstream media stepping it up. Don't get your hopes up. I see mainstream media stepping it up and covering Kamala and Tim. Yeah. And I see the Donald and the Maga impoverished. Smoke from Canadian wildfires. Are you saying that in reference to something? Yeah. Let's go back to the nefarious cards, because I'm seeing it being real bad for Trump. Real bad. Yeah, I feel like Biden's behind the scenes. We'll go back to Biden in a sec. I feel things going really poorly. Too big to ignore. Blue tsunami, yeah. I see MAGA just disintegrating. I do. We've been praying hard for that. We don't want people to suffer. Right? And that's what, Kamala and Tim being up there is like, they don't want people to suffer. They want to help people. It's really no contest, right? Thank you, Rose, for keeping track of my subscriber numbers. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like, why wouldn't you? It doesn't cost you a thing. You're getting all this free information. Maine is getting smoke really bad. I'm getting motorcycles really bad. Yeah, I remember last year there was a lot of we got to handle global climate change. 3 cards. Oh, and Project 2025, just since we were on the topic, eliminates anything to do with addressing global climate change. So basically, I can take it a step further and say, this is unfortunately true. I can take it a step further and say, Project 2025 is a plan for death to all of us. Them too. They act like they don't need to breathe the air. They act like they must have climate controlled bunkers. But who wants to live like that? Anyway, 3 cards about MAGA and the whole Trump campaign. I haven't heard much out of them. I haven't heard much from like Lara Trump and Don Jr. Thank you, Warren, for putting my information up. I've heard some cray stuff on faux news, just from Midas Touch clips, and we'll read on them too. We'll read on fake news too. They can't really find anything on Kamala. Okay, I always, every single time it feels like I get this card when I'm reading on the Trump campaign, which indicates losing money, like it's going through a sieve. Yeah, MAGA's, it's all smoke and mirrors. The Trump campaign, that's all smoke and mirrors. He's saying things repeatedly. I know, it doesn't take a psychic, right? He's saying things that simply are blatantly untrue, and he's going to continue to do that. So then he loses credibility. I know it might sound like a big stretch, just like mainstream media getting with the program, a little bit. It might sound like a stretch, but the Trump campaign is going to lose some of their loyal supporters just by the fact of fake facts, fake news, telling people things that they can't see because they're not true. I appreciate your support, your financial support. And I did get a bunch of envelopes in the mail, so it's really helping me to pay my bills, so thanks. And they send me to DC. It sounds a little funny for me to say, send me to DC. And I want to just take an opportunity to mention to you this. I think that these times have made, one of the effects of these times we are in is that, as far as I'm concerned, to see someone with a low IQ, total scam artist, con man like Trump, having been able to occupy the White House and call himself president, if he can do that, if the Marjorie Trader Greens and the Lauren Boeberts and the Laura Loomers and the Matt Gaetz and the Jim Jordans and the James Comer and all the rest of them that are really, they have no business being in the positions that they're in. They're very stupid. There's an organization called Run for Something. And I'll read on this too. I think more people are going to say, get out of my way, I'm running for office. As far as the Trump campaign, the more he blatantly lies, like the Magas, except for the ones that are really, really delusional, on another planet, alternative reality. The ones that are kind of normal, working people, have families, they're the ones that are kind of in the real world somewhat. Remember, these people don't live with Trump. Can you imagine? They're going to start to get bored of the blatant misinformation. Yeah, people don't trust him either. And then I have the Queen of Wands here. The messaging from the Harris campaign is just, it's too good. The truth is too in your face. Melania doesn't live with him either. That's true. And how about J.D. Vance? We should read on him. How about J.D. Vance? I'm telling you, they're grasping at straws. J.D. Vance is like saying to in some interview, oh, did you see Tim Walz didn't, he shook his wife's hand. It's like, so what? Kamala, she laughs a lot. Yeah. And how many times has he changed his name? And then we saw pictures of I didn't mean to say Matt Gaetz. Pictures of J.D. Vance in drag. Maybe there's pictures of Matt Gaetz in drag too, because it just popped out. You see, it's getting to be almost time for the tea leaves. Let's read on J.D. Vance since we're on the topic. It's good we laugh. Yes, it's good to laugh. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen, you haven't either, it's not really a news station, but them pointing to she laughs a lot, and that's a problem. You're supposed to be miserable, damn it. Yeah. That's an interesting kind of a dynamic there. You're supposed to not be happy. That's authoritarianism. And since we're on that topic, that supposed to not be happy is right out of North Korea. Because during the anniversary day of Kim Jong-un's father or grandfather there's a commemorative service, and all the North Koreans have to go to this commemorative service. And if it's detected by the North Korean soldiers, like the military, that somebody is smiling a little, or if they are caught laughing during this commemorative service for the dead Kim Jong-un's grandfather, they could be thrown in prison for life. So let's really, really consider that what we're seeing. North Korea is going to allow foreign tourists starting in December? Jeez. I'm not going. What we're seeing is what other countries go through. JD Vance. Pulling 3 cards on JD Vance. That is true. And I wrote that in one of my Substack articles. Please go to Substack. Please. I write 3 articles a week for Substack, and they are the newsletter that goes with our Grassroots of Democracy Zoom meeting invite. 3 times a week. I'm not going to North Korea. No. I wrote about it. Do yourself a favor and just, inform yourself. I mean, it's a horrible thing, but what it would be like to live in North Korea. And one time we had in the chat, it was Cheryl. Cheryl, this is months ago. Cheryl Clark. Remember, Cheryl? You were saying that your daughter was going to vote for Trump. That was maybe last year. And somebody in the chat said, tell your daughter, Cheryl, to Google Map or Google Earth and go to North Korea and seeing it at night. It's completely black except for the whatever, it's the capital or terrifying stuff. I'm sure they don't have electricity a lot of the time. Okay, I'm pulling 3 cards on JD Vance and how he's doing. And I'm failing at my goal to end in an hour. So, hey, you like my flowers? I went to the farmer's market. I'm loving these. These are the best. I have a different view than you do of the screen. So, can you see the 2? I don't think they're technically sunflowers, but I love this time of year. I love the flowers. Getting some good flowers. We have a boulevard here that there's a whole huge committee of volunteer gardeners, and they're called generous gardeners. It's just, I'll do a little tour. I'll do that. I'll do a little tour of the gardeners, what they've done here on the boulevard that's right on the water. It's just stunning. Just stunning. I know, why would anybody go to North Korea? Yeah, remember Otto Warmbier? Is that how you spell his last name? That I can't even think about that story. It's so awful. Okay, 3 cards about JD Vance and what's going on with him. He's an evil, evil person. Oh, you have fields of sunflowers in Kansas? Oh, I bet that's so awesome. JD Vance. He's not liking, ooh. Whoa. Boy, the cards are really spot on tonight. So I mean, they're usually right accurate, but this is like, there's no questioning what's going on here. JD Vance. The moon indicates heavy-duty emotions. The 10 of Swords, my least favorite card in this deck. It's Bridget Bishop being hung for being a witch. JD Vance is going to get persecuted by the people. And the 8 of Cups is his past. He cannot really walk away from his past. His past is in his face. And look to seeing more dirt on JD Vance. I mean, I'm kind of getting, this is just the tip of the iceberg, what we know thus far. And the guides are showing me, it's just what I'm seeing. JD Vance in the company of white supremacist domestic terrorist groups. So I feel like JD Vance has been at those meetings. It's kind of like the KKK meetings of days gone by. But it's worse because they have weapons. I'm not saying this to startle you. I'm just saying that we're going to find out. There's going to be a lot. Eight of Cups. This is about the past. There's going to be a lot that comes up about him. Cheryl, you're funny. I'm so cute like a kitten, she's saying. That's hilarious. Thank you, I think. I haven't never been called a kitten before. That's funny. Yeah. His past, there's so much more coming up that's going to be revealed about JD Vance's past. Let's ask this. I can't even imagine what it's like to be that horrible of a human being. Can't even imagine what I'm picking up on JD Vance. Is he going to be removed from the ticket? Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting a no. I thought that he would. A while back I thought that he would, and I think that was because Trump was really thinking about it. Wants to hear Annette do her best meow. I'm not a cat person. I know I'm disappointing a lot of people right now because people assume that psychics are cat people and I'm not. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. I think it's great that people have cats. I just am not a cat person. Okay, I think it might be time for tea leaves. Unless there was something. Yeah, I just have stuffed animals. I have, this was from our friend in Montana named M. Now I do. I'm doing me. Warren's saying I can adopt a cat. Okay, we're gonna go to the tea leaves. Was there another question? Was there something else we needed to? Yeah, not everyone's a cat person, right, Electrostorm? Yeah, but if I wanted to adopt a cat, Warren, then I would adopt a cat. I'm not a fan. That's all. Then why is Vance married to a brown woman? It doesn't make sense. I know, it doesn't make sense. I hope I didn't offend anyone who has a cat. I really, I don't mean anything by it. I used to have parakeets. What kind of tea am I drinking? This is... Well, I go to Salem to get my tea, and I think it's called Asu or something like that. I'll look it up. I forgot. I used to write it on the back, but now I just always get the same tea. Oh, we've got a lot of activity around the full moon. Oh, we have a dad joke. What can go through a glass without breaking it? Is that a dad joke? Did I know that Trump voted today in Florida? You're guessing to Satan, give him a pass. I thought a convicted felon couldn't vote. There's that. There's that. I mean, really. Okay, so tea leaves. I can't believe it's time for tea leaves. Hang on a second. Let me grab this. There's a full moon coming up. There's a full moon. Yeah, right? Felons can vote? Well, I think it depends on the state, but I'm not sure. Maybe we need to look that up. Betty's hubby's a cat lady. A cat lady? You're a dog person. All right. Oh, this is really weird. On Monday, we have a full moon. I'm a little overwhelmed by the cup at the moment. Okay. This looks like here in California, felons and parolees can vote. Okay. I'm just processing what I'm seeing here. On that full moon, there's a lot of activity, and it's being built up to now. This looks like a nefarious figure with a backpack. I'm not saying something terrible is going to happen. What I'm picking up on about this is when the Magas, the fascists, they're going to be taking information and whatever happens at the DNC, because that's when the DNC begins, right? On Monday, on the full moon. And they're going to be trying to make a plan. See, the backpack is like all their plans that they're thinking about. Breaking news, hackers have reportedly stolen the social security numbers of every American according to the Los Angeles Times. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Continuing on. So, do you see the character? It's like a kind of a demonic character with a backpack. And then underneath is like, it looks a little bit like a frog. And then this looks like a, almost like a koala bear. So, how about RFK Jr. trying to see if he can serve in Kamala's administration? Is that what he was doing? Put a freeze on your credit files. That's what you're reading about right now. Okay, anyway, let's back to the cup. We can read on that another time. And that looks like a parrot. Hang on. I have to see what else is going on here. This is Venus. Okay. I actually feel like what's going to happen at the DNC, this is my sense, is that we will see that Kamala and Tim win. And even though, let me explain. Sometimes I'll do a reading for somebody and I'll say something like, "Oh, I see you're married," and she'll be partnered, but they won't be married, but they energetically feel married. What I pick up on, and the opposite is true too. Two people can be married and I don't pick up on that they're married because they're energetically disconnected. The reason I'm mentioning that is because at the DNC convention, the energy of them already being in the White House, Kamala and Tim, is going to be very prevalent. Very prevalent. Okay, I'm not really picking up a lot on that Social Security number story, by the way. Because, I mean, you put it up there and I'm like, I didn't get worried. Maybe it's because I don't have a lot of money. I don't know, but they can access stuff. But they can't take what you don't have, right? Anyway, there's going to be mega energy around women's issues at the DNC convention. You thought Vance's wife was a very intelligent woman? What is she thinking? It's too late in the show for me to get into that. Ask me Friday. I mean, because I'd like to read on that. She is Indian, and the Indian culture, some parts of India women are very repressed. So there's that. So the Magas will be looking for something to use against the Democrats, obviously. They have all kinds of plans to hone in on certain things about the Democrats that they garner from the convention. This is like a koala bear. I know, I'm reading it as a psychic. You probably can't see that. Or maybe you can. And so there's going to be a lot of warm fuzzies. When you think of a koala bear, you think of warm fuzzies, right? Or a panda bear. So there's both things going on. And underneath the Venus symbol, the female, that looks like the figure of a woman crouching down. And the issue of women suffering in their pregnancies especially is going to be really in the forefront. And can we not end the show with bad news? Can we just lift it up a little? I don't want to leave you all with, feeling bad. there's a little speck there next to the sun, like a speck in somebody's eye. And I think that refers to the Magas. Anyway, the Democrats are going to knock it out of the park. And a lot of that is going to be, a big bulk of it is going to be what they are doing to women who are pregnant, who have complications in their pregnancy. That's going to be a main issue. Breaking news, Trump earpiece has gone with the wind. He's gone with the wind, that is for sure. So, yeah. I feel like the Democrats are going to clinch it. So let's wind down on that note. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please take into consideration that my income comes from readings, so, and it's not like you're going to get a crappy reading. I've been doing this for over 30 years, so book a reading. And also, thank you, Gina. On Saturday, we have our final class. Hang with me while I do a little commercial, just for a minute. On Saturday, we have our final class of the Psychic Summer School series on Saturdays, and it's about harnessing the Force. It's about empowering yourself by learning how to use the Force. So the Force will be with you always, because you'll know how to access the Force in some very specific ways. That is the final class for the summer sessions. It's almost to the end. If you want to donate, especially for my trip to DC, maybe I will be in Congress someday. Who the heck knows? My P.O. box is in the description, and a few people put it up, and thank you. When you become a member, you get an affirmation in your inbox every single day. I also do offer tea leaf readings. I'm also a spiritual life coach. If you need to change your life, I can help you do that. And grassrootstodemocracy.com is where you go to help us to save our democracy. Our meetings have been lightly attended. I know that it's summer, but do not take your eye off the ball. Join us, grassrootstodemocracy.com. One more thing, Church of Spirituality has its own channel. Church of Spirituality makes your life better. On Tuesday nights, I host a discussion group. There's great information if you want to explore your spirituality more. At Church of Spirituality, you might need to type my name in too. Check it out, and please subscribe. And we're working on growing that brand new channel. All right. Oh my gosh, 72. Almost going on 73 minutes. So I think we're done. Be good to yourselves. Get out in the beautiful summer before it ends, and we'll see you soon. See you Friday or tomorrow night at Grassroots. Namaste. Bye.